On the Track is a monthly web TV show about cryptozoology, natural history, green issues, and whatever else the team feel like making up as they go along. Enjoy!
Coming up this week.
The famous Midland crocodile hunt. How can one never forget that?
Hello everybody, my name's Hennis and welcome to another episode On the Track. I'm a chicken, but my friend Mr. Simon from Denmark thinks that I'm a Gnostic Archon, and I don't know what that means. But you can't argue with anybody from Denmark because they've got mermaids and they make my favourite biscuits. So maybe I should be a Gnostic Archon, whatever that means.
Well, Hennis, if the secret ruler of 365 levels is indeed an anthropomorphic chicken who is mainly motivated by biscuits, I think that would explain the modern world very well.
Tell me what's in today's episode, Mr. John.
Well, Hennis, in this week's episode, we meet our old friend Nigel Wright, and together we remember the time when the CFZ went up to Staffordshire in search of a crocodile.
I really like the old credits.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs, and welcome to. Hang on. For some reason, we seem to have been whisked away to a leafy corner of the home counties, where a matronly orang pendek is waiting for us.
I had Mrs. Dalrymple from the Women's Institute round the other day for key lime pie. She was eyeing my sherry glasses. She thought I didn't see her eyeing my sherry glasses, but I damn well did.
Okay, it's me again. Hello, my name's John Downs. I'm the director of an organisation called the Centre for Fortean Zoology, which is, at least as far as we know, the largest, longest standing, and we like to think the best mystery animal research group in the English-speaking world. And every Saturday afternoon, and yes, this is a Saturday afternoon, we bring you a show called On the Track. And just in case you're interested, every Wednesday evening we also bring you a show called On the Track Extra. And on the last Wednesday of every month we bring you a show called, wait for it, the Last Wednesday of the Month show, in which me and the lovely Vivian Powell, together with our panel of V. McCrinnan, Dave Scott, and Ian Squibbs, together with a plethora of specially invited and very delicious guests. Yes, I know I stole that line from that Beatles podcast that doesn't run anymore, but I rather like it. We discuss the Fortean zoological topics of the day. We discuss them, debate them, and generally make fun of them in what we think is an entertaining manner. But I am sort of getting sidetracked here. What is the show? Mixture, a melange, a muddle. I can't think of anything else beginning with M. Lauren, what begins with M?
macaroni and cheese, of course.
Thanks, honey, I can work with that. And, as always, Miss Lauren is completely correct. Because we are a macaroni cheese of a show because we're delicious, hot or cold. And we're even better when you add a bit of squeezy tomato ketchup. But that is by the by. I've told you what's in the show. I've told you when the show comes out. But what's it about? Well, it has hard science, weird shit, and surreality. What's surreality? Well, go and look at that. It might explain things.
Bloody hell! What's that smell? It's
The one thing I've discovered in the last 30-something years, I thought at first that there were just specific areas where this weird stuff happens. But
Yeah.
before I go into it, everywhere you look, if you dig hard enough, you'll find that if you dig hard enough, you'll find that everywhere is strange. I remember dear old Doc Shields saying to me about 10 years ago, he said that the human idea of normality is completely wrong. It doesn't exist.
Well, I think we
An
have to
artificial
invent.
construct, and the world is far stranger than we
Yeah,
ever
I
admit.
was chatting to my Chat GPT AI chappy on the computer the other night, and we were talking about dimensions and how dimensions interact with the Earth's forces. It got a bit sort of highfalutin, but it boils down to the fact we know nothing. We are just tipping at the tip of the iceberg, still tipping at the tip of the iceberg, and I've been ever since we were Woodbury Common. So what's that, 20 odd years? I've been into it now, and I'm still
And the
chipping into the
rest.
iceberg a bit.
The
Yeah.
summer we spent on Woodbury Common doing that UFO lap was 28 years ago.
God. Yeah. And yet you see, well, it's right next door to one of the best preserved iron forts in Britain, which has got a reputation for cryptos there, big cats. The Royal Marines, the radios that the Royal Marines use, their Prepper MOD ones, never work because they get a lot of interference, radio controlled planes that often crash. You've got 30 odd burial mounds, most of which are empty, and most of which contains spiral signs on the burial chamber floor, unlike most that are seen in England. They're seen a lot in France, believe it or not, on standing stones. And it's when you start joining the dots together, you think there's something really unknown knowledge that we have yet to learn that our ancients knew. They sort of knew what was going on there, and we're just discovering the tip of the knowledge. I love it. I'm still obsessed by it. Even now, I cannot give it up. I'm supposed to be retired, but I'm not. Just can't give it up.
I'm never going to retire. I will eventually retire from doing my day jobs, but I'm not going to retire from doing this.
Well, I can't, for various medical reasons, I can't do article writing like I used to. But thankfully, thank goodness for modern tech. I love AI. I love tech anyway, but AI really fascinates me. It helps me still write articles. I can mention what I've got in mind to my AI assistant, and he formulates an article for me. And then says, "Well, what do you think?" And he'll read it through to me. He says, "Shall we alter this? Shall we alter that? Has it got the right context? Do you want to put something in, take something out?" And it's a really good way of doing it. And it keeps the article flowing. You write in the first tense, so it's me writing it. But in the background, I've got that reassurance that nothing is going to look stupid because it's double checked.
Your
No,
writing was never stupid, Nigel.
yeah, well, you didn't see it before AI came along, John. It was
Yes,
getting to
I
the point
did.
where
I've been working with you with your writing for the last 30 years, you silly old sod.
oh, I was just we got a chuckle from the wife again. Then did you hear that? Yes.
Susan, why do you always laugh when I call your husband a silly old sod?
You're so right.
Thank you, Susan.
40,
I've always
43
loved you,
years.
Susan.
No, 43 years. You think I'd have learned my lesson by now, wouldn't you? But there you go. Oh, I
But you
wouldn't be
get
without her.
less for murder.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
tried and he wouldn't let me go.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Behave. But I mean, thankfully, John, I don't think I'd have ever got round to being a journalist if you hadn't sort of kicked me on the backside, say, do something with it. I honestly don't think I'd have done it. I don't think I had the courage to do it. Well,
I always knew you could write. I always knew that you could use the English language, and you got an interesting and deductive mind.
I've got to
So I wasn't
imagine
going to let you
mind.
stay being a fucking taxi driver. I was going to
Oh.
get on with doing something
Oh,
to change the world just a little
do
bit.
the folks know how we first became acquainted? Have you told them about the first day we met?
I can't remember. I mean, Graham and I had, I believe, been to the Devon County show.
You were actually on the radio station that day?
Yeah, we were doing a live broadcast on the BBC Radio Devon store,
Devon.
County show,
Yeah.
talking
Oh
about
my
Western
goodness
cats
me.
and stuff.
Weird
And then
about
we
the
came
West.
back, and I saw this sinister-looking bloke wearing a suit outside my house, and I thought, oh Christ, my ex-wife's solicitors have
Oh,
got
cheers,
somebody
pal.
serving a writ on me or something. So I sent Graham up to see who it was, and he shouted down when he went up. I could see him laughing. He shouted down, "Go on, John! It's another one of your stupid bloody weirdos."
I got it right. I actually heard you talking on BBC Radio Devon when I was on the rank working. And I phoned up. I think I phoned you up and we had a chat. And then I said, I'm going to go up there and meet the guy. So I got to find out where you were. And I just left my work because I was self-employed and I could come and go basically as I wanted. So I thought I'd blow work for the afternoon. So I took a 14-mile drive up to Exeter. And we sort of met up. And we've been sort of pals ever since, as they say.
Yeah, been friends ever since.
Eventually came to work for you full time. I'll work with you, not for you, because that's
Work
sort
with
of
me, so I don't think I ever paid you.
yeah, that's true. I don't worry, I'm keeping a log. Yeah, we've worked together, shall we say, for
I'm just going to
ever
ignore
since.
that last bit. It always amused me the way that you could, because you can drive, you can do what most people can't. You can drive in London.
I like it. I love driving
I
in London.
hated driving in London, and so you would take me sometimes Graham or Richard, sometimes just you and me. We would go around all these different media places where I'd got interviews or something.
Oh, that was one Sunday, wasn't it? And it turned out to be marathon weekend. So half of London was shut off, remember? And it's like trying to get through central London when it's all shut for the marathon run was a nightmare. It was an absolute bit of a nightmare. And you had to be at one radio, I think it was a radio show first, then that Channel 4 awful Scottish comedian, which I can't remember the name of now, that we had to do a. What he was called?
I know who you mean.
He looked like Harpo Marx on Speed. Oh, yeah. I think we had another. We went to a film premiere thing, and it was not Ant and Dec. It was what was the name of those two? Dick and Dom, and there was some premiere show. I met them and I said, you didn't tell me it was Swanky doing a film, and I was there in my work clothes basically. I was there with a hat and an army or an RAF pullover, and there's all these other guys in black ties and tail do. And I thought, oh, God almighty. And they found it highly amusing, these two young lads. And one of them comes from Exeter. So that was it. We were away then. And it was good fun. Good fun. But the driving, never worried me. Never worried me. I
We
loved it.
got invited to that one because a very minor spin-off character of this TV series for kids had seen one of the Celtic black dogs.
Mm,
And so we
yeah.
got invited along there because a very minor part of the plot twist was black dogs. I think
Well, yeah.
Barget.
That's something else I'm still writing about today. Somebody was asking me about that. I think it was Chris Evers was asking me about that the other day, the history of black dog legends. And I said, well, it's all over the country. It depends which part of the United Kingdom you come from. It depends on what you call it.
And
You
they're
call
beginning
it,
to come back again. That's another thing. For years,
well,
nobody has had any. But
yeah.
I've had 2 or 3 in the last 10 years, which is
Well, as I say, I was telling you that I could have sworn I heard a lynx last night, or half past 4.
tell us about that. Tell us.
Well, it was my cat had just come in through the home bedroom window. It's dark, and the cat goes in and out most of the night, so I leave the window open for him. And he came and jumped on the bed and woke me up. So I'm sort of sat there thinking, oh, I have a drink. So I'm having a drink. And all of a sudden I hear this god awful noise, not that far from the window. And it's very quiet where we live at night. And I was like, oh, I can't do the same, but it was like to begin with, I thought it was a car starting, a very loud hot rod type engine, but it cut off suddenly after about 10 seconds. I thought, that's not a car. And so there's something niggling me at the back of the mind. And if you remember years ago, we went down to see Elias, was it Drew? Was it Drew, the keeper and the founder of Ellis Shaw? That's right. He was the keeper of and the owner of the Dartmoor Zoo.
Yeah, I love it.
And yeah, and one of
Shocking
his
old bloke, but I was very fond of him.
oh, he was. I tell you what, though, when you're a gent, he said to me, I've got really sort of enchanted with a timber wolf. Had a full-grown timber wolf. I ended up stroking the thing through the fence, and he was. I love it because I'm a dog lover, and all of a sudden I saw this dog, but cleverer, if you know what I mean. And his eyes that could see, they looked like they'd seen the history of 1,000 years. It was an incredible thing, and you wouldn't think it was a full-grown timber wolf. And I was stroking its nose. Yeah, he's a good boy then.
And then we went into that cage with all the pumas.
Yes. You said to me, I tell you what, Nigel, why don't we do a bit of filming? So, well, yes, naive as I was then. Why not? Yeah, I'll do it, John. Well, all we got to do is go into that cage with some links in it. I said, pardon? Just go into the cage with some links. Don't worry, there'll be a keeper there keeping an eye on it for you, and he'll be guarding you. Just do a talk when you get there, and there's this man-made tree in the middle. So I thought, oh God, great. So I go in there, and Elias stood there with an old wooden brush. That was the idea of guarding me. And I walked to the middle, rather nervously did this bit about the lynx. European lynx? Am I right? I'm not.
Eurasian lynx, yeah.
Yeah, Eurasian lynx, pardon me. You always did correct me, quite rightly so. And I look up, and I hear this noise. And I look up, and this damn thing's 2 feet above me in the tree with young. And I'm thinking, oh my God, don't look, don't stare. Remember what you told me to do? Don't stare at an animal like that, because big cats think it's a sign of threatening behavior. Now look away and slowly walk backwards away from it. Don't turn away from it. So I remembered all that. So I looked down, and it made this god awful sound, and that was the sound I heard last night. It was a lynx. I am 99% certain it was a lynx. And I said to this morning, I heard a lynx this morning, 4:30, about 10, 15 feet from our bedroom window. Don't be ridiculous. And I looked up, and sure enough, Lancashire has a record of recent lynx sightings. So there you go. You're right.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. They get you back legally, I guess, within the next 20 years.
Well, I think they are. I mean, there's I saw one last night or night before on BBC about the eagle being re-released into Scottish Highlands.
Mhm.
Beautiful thing. The BBC went up there and they sat there all day waiting for an eagle to appear, and they were deeply frustrated they didn't see one. So you had to do a, oh well, we've been here all day, but we didn't see one sort of report for it. But it's nice to think these things are being reintroduced
Yeah,
back into the country. I think it's brilliant.
fantastic.
Um,
Nigel,
I
would you
like,
believe we've only got 4 minutes left? We've been doing this for
well,
half.
this was
We've
a
been doing
CFZ
this for
production.
34 minutes.
This was a CFZ production by Jonathan Downes, starring some old crow who he knew once a long time ago when he
I
had half a
still
brain
know
called
you
Nigel.
now. Stop putting yourself down, you silly old sod.
Look,
You're a
I've
dear,
always said,
sweet
John,
fellow,
I've
and
not
you are.
always said, I'm not, one thing I hate is UFO expert, Nigel Wright. No, I'm not. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm a man who just got lucky, met the right people, got an interest, and I know a few things. I don't know everything. I don't think
No,
anyone ever does.
none of us ever
I
will.
don't believe in the word expert for any sort of thing.
Of
Expert
course, I'm not an
cryptozoologist?
expert. I know more than some people
Yeah, you know
on
more than the
some
average
things.
person.
I
I
don't know.
don't
I
think
wouldn't like to
everyone,
say
when it
that.
comes,
I know a little bit about a lot of different things.
yeah, same,
There's
same.
only
And
one or
I've
two
been,
things I know a lot about, and neither of them are any good at making a living. So,
well, I've been cryptozoologist now for 61 years. I've been ufologist. I saw my first UFO when I was 6, which is quite frightening, really.
I
I
think
had
that
a UFO.
I was 10. No, 9 or 10 when I saw my
Yeah.
first.
And it's someone said to me, "Well, you're one of the pioneer British ufologists." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just someone who saw a UFO in the '60s." I talked and had a conversation, a relationship in a sense, professional relationship with Arthur Shuttlewood, but one of the premier sort of
Yeah,
founding members of British
he
ufology.
he was
And
one of the premier
yeah, and he did a
UFOs.
talk at Exmouth, my little seaside town in East Devon. He gave a talk to it, and I plodded along as a 17-year-old and burbled on like I'd done to you tonight, poor soul, um, incoherently about these UFOs and what I thought they were and everything else. And he invited me to come to Warminster, and with the rest of the quite crowds used to go and gather with him up on Cradle Hill and do a skywatch, which I did. I got on my motorbike and drove up to Warminster, walked in the local pub and said, "Anyone know the direction to Cradle Hill?" And they all started laughing. "Oh, you're one of Arthur's cronies." Well, yeah, there's the place. And the landlord sort of very kindly gave me a hot drink of soup for nothing and then sent me on my way. And I had a marvellous time. And I saw some really strange lights up there. And Arthur was a fantastic man, a career journalist, but a fantastic man. And yeah, but yeah, they become legends. But then they were just a nice guy, a nice ufologist who talked a language I understood, you know? And it's,
Oh, you'll be a
um,
legend in years to come. People will
oh,
be
everyone,
thinking, I remember the wise words of Nigel Wright.
oh God, no. Oh, please, John, no. Oh, the wise words. Yeah. Well, it would be hard not to remember. John, there's only about 3 of them in the 30 odd years.
I'm still trying to make your wife laugh.
Oh, she is. She's been giggling all the time.
Your wise words.
Huh?
Here's my wallet, darling.
Oh, hear that? Here's Nigel Wright's wise words. Here's my darling wife.
Well,
That's
that's pretty wise thing to say.
a wise man who keeps the right side of his wife.
Just looked up.
Oh,
Here's my wallet.
here's my wallet. That's ridiculous. Oh, oh, yeah. Well,
Now,
thank you, John. It's been a lovely chat, my friend.
it's
I've
been
thoroughly
lovely,
enjoyed
and we will do it again. Give us another 6 months or so, and we'll do it again and talk about something else.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed this matter.
God willing. Yeah, it's been great fun. It's been
Oh,
great
God
fun.
willing,
Not
you're
much to
going to
see him.
outlive all of us. You cantankerous.
Well, I hope. Anyway, I do. I hope we all live forever, but of course, none of us will. But I hope we all have very long lives and happy ones. And that's what I say to everyone. I wish no one ill. Well, with the exception of a couple of people I could think of in the world, but most of the people I wish long, happy lives to. So
Well,
thank you again.
That
It's been
is a
great.
very wise way to end the show. Thank you, Nigel, my dear boy. Thank you,
You're
Sue,
welcome,
for
John.
letting me borrow Nigel.
That's okay, anytime.
And
I
we'll do
don't
it again, and we'll do it again in a few months' time.
Yes, and she can sit beside me and work me with her hands, and I'm like a ventriloquist dummy then. I stand there and go, yeah, hello, Tom. Yeah. All right, John. I'll take care, my friend. All the very best to you. And
Cheers,
thank you for
my dear
having me on
boy.
the show. Okay, take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.
If you want to support us and help us make more content like these, please press like, subscribe, follow our Facebook page and check out our Patreon.
And as the ghost of Joe Strummer, who's an ever more regular visitor to my little studio, says, don't forget to ring the notification bell, otherwise you'll miss the new episodes. And that would be an awful pity, wouldn't it?
These might look like ordinary, everyday people, but they're not. Let's take a closer look. I'm filling my tomato harness with talcum powder on the moon. Back seats for keep a welcome in the hillside. Cherry ripe, cherry ripe. I live inside of a crab with Rip Van Winkle and the Patty Cake Man. Yes, they were all wazzocks. You can tell wazzocks by their general waz-tardedness. So remember, think once, think twice, think wazzock.
That was a public information film.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was lovely to catch up with Nigel again. I've known him, as I said, very nearly 30 years, and I'm very, very fond of him. He's been in very poor health in recent years, and it's lovely to see him looking so well and sounding even better. And yes, we will be bringing him back when we get around to it. Now, I want to say a big thank you to everybody but for whom this show wouldn't have happened, particularly Nigel, and should I probably put in the credits, Nigel Wright appears courtesy of Susan Wright, because Sue is a darling, and I've known her nearly as long as I've known him, and I'm very fond of both of them. I also want to say a big thank you to Richard Freeman, Lee McCrinnan, Graham Inglis, and the lovely Gwyn Palmer, but for whom I wouldn't be able to do any of this crap that I do. I'm going to be back on Saturday. What am I going to be talking about on Saturday? Well, we're going to be making a big announcement. We're also going to be doing the first part of a two-part interview with the lovely Alison Jornlin about her project, Paranormal Women, or 14 Women. I would have got that completely right if somebody hadn't gone bing, bing in the middle of me doing this bit to camera, but that doesn't really matter. So we've got Alison Jornlin next Saturday. Are you going to be there, Mr. McCrinnan? Because if you're there watching it, Mr. McCrinnan, and I'll be there doing all the stuff I normally do on the Saturday, the notifications and the social media posts and the emails and the live chat and all the other gubbins I do, then I most certainly, Mr. McCrinnan, will be seeing you.